My name is Lyle Massey. I work for OPIsystems, and today I'm going to show you how to update the firmware on your StoreMax monitor. In order to do this, you will need your monitor, the USB adapter or kit U, and your A to B type USB cable, similar to most USB cables used on printers. You will also need a PC with an internet connection. So the first thing you are going to do is navigate to the website advancedgrainmanagement.com, and then in the top right corner, click on Login. Now, depending on the speed of your internet connection, this may take a while, this may go quickly, but when you get to the page, click on My OPIntegris, which is on the center right-hand side. Afterwards, on the right-hand side, you can create an account. If you have an account, on the left-hand side, click Sign In, and then sign in afterwards. So after you've signed in, on the top right, there's a bunch of menus. Navigate to Integris Advance, and then scroll down to Update Firmware. Click on that. You will be sent to a page with a couple of drop-down menus. Click on the furthest most left one to select the type of monitor you have. Some of you have StoreMax monitors, some of you have EasyCheck monitors. By far the most common is StoreMax Monitor. I'm going to select that. Afterwards, select the type of monitor. Again, there's two, standard and deluxe monitors. By far the most common is the deluxe monitor, and that is the one I'm going to update today. Afterwards, click on the language you would like to download your firmware version in. I'm going to select English. Finally, below that, you have several different firmware versions to choose from. 2.2, 1.21, a second version of 1.21, and 3.0. The most recent version is 3.0. You need to update to 3.0 if you are using moisture cables in addition to your temperature cables. If you have a just temperature cable system, you do not need to update your firmware on your StoreMax monitor. If you do have moisture cables and you have anything less than 3.0, you do need to update the firmware on your StoreMax monitor. So that is the firmware version I'm going to select today. Next to 3.0 on the right-hand side, click on Download. After clicking on Download, your executable will download. Some of you may see it on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Do not click on Run. Instead, navigate to the Downloads folder on your PC. So I'm going to open up Windows Explorer and go to Downloads. You can see that I have downloaded StoreMax 300DM OP English. That is the name of the firmware version for the StoreMax monitor. Before I can run the executable, I need to move it to the correct folder. So I'm going to right-click on it and click on Cut. Next, you need to go to C drive, OPIntegris, Integris Advance, Bin, and S19. Then right-click again and click Paste. This moves the executable file for your firmware version to the correct folder. Once you are there, you can double-click on it. This will run the firmware executable. You may encounter a pop-up asking you if you want to continue. Select Yes. When prompted, click Install, and then click Finish. Finally, once you've done so, the corrected firmware version will be in this folder as well as all the other firmware versions available. You can delete the executable, so I'm going to do so now. The next step, you are going to want to run Integris Advance. If you do not have Integris Advance downloaded on your computer, you will need to do so by going to advancedgrainmanagement.com and then downloading it from My OPIntegris. So I'm going to start it now and get my StoreMax monitor ready to plug into the computer. So first, grab your monitor, take your kit U, put it onto the back so that it's sliding into the connector, and make sure all the pins line up on the bottom and that it is secure. Turn it on, plug in your USB, and then once Integris Advance has started on your computer, you can plug in the other end of your USB into an open port on your computer. After a few seconds, you will see a progress bar saying there's PC communication as well as on the StoreMax itself. At this point, you will need to back up the configuration. After your StoreMax has stopped communicating with the PC, you should see some information in the top left. To the right of that, some menu options. Right there, select Backup Configuration. This is just so that if anything goes wrong in the update process, the backup from your StoreMax monitor will be available to you to restore it to its original settings. Next, select Program Update, and then press Continue. And then when you get to this point, select the firmware version that you have just downloaded off of Advanced Grain Management. In this case, it's 300 DM OP English. Select that and then click on OK. Now that the firmware update is complete, disconnect your monitor and verify that the firmware update was successful. First, hold the escape button or the off button to turn off the monitor. Wait a couple of seconds and then press the on button or the menu button to turn it back on. You can verify the firmware version by looking in the bottom right-hand corner. If you are successful, it should say V3.00D, which tells you that the version of your firmware is 3.00 Deluxe, which is what we selected to update it to today. Now that you have updated your firmware to 3.0, you will be able to read moisture cables and temperature cables on your StoreMax monitor. If you have any questions about the update process, you can call our toll-free number at 1-800-661-1055 or email us at help@OPIsystems.com. Someone from our customer care team will be able to help you out. Thank you for your time, and we hope this helps.